We're live.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we got some cool thing to watch today.
Regarding the 7OH paid protesters that were at the CHAMPS Vegas show a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Been a couple weeks already now. I'm
That
still trying to recover from that, man. I'm telling you, when I came home that Sunday night, and Monday we get hit with the news that the FDA, DEA, HHS are going to have an announcement regarding, 7OH and Kratom, pretty much. So we wake up Tuesday morning. We wake up hella early to watch it. And, then that freaking earthquake dropped, and now it's like, and then we start getting the word out about it. And then we're getting hit with immature ass fucking comments, y'all. Those 7OHers are opioid raging big time. And they're blaming us. They're blaming us advocates. Not only are they blaming us, they're blaming the American Kratom Association. But now y'all fixing to see who's the truth. What's the truth behind it? So that's what I got to share.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
So gather around, folks. Gather around.
And I will say, kudos, when somebody, my thing is like, I respect people that can admit something, even if, say the whole community feels like it was the wrong thing to do. Mm-hmm. I respect it. Totally.
Owning up to it.
Sorry for the dead air.
Yeah. That's okay, though. But, it's like...
Oops. Man, my phone be taking forever to catch up.
Probably not a good idea to do something like that.
Whoops. Same.
And
so we want to definitely make sure that y'all know we are not, this right here is a vendor speaking about the paid protests and all that good stuff. So we are not sponsoring this vendor whatsoever.
Yeah, we are not vendor sponsored in any way, shape, or form.
No.
We just do what we do for the passion.
Yep.
And to help people that are struggling like we were 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit ain't fun. Okay, almost done. Dude, do you ever accidentally take a screenshot on your phone?
Yes.
Oh, fucking hate. I do that shit so often on my old phone. Oh, dude.
Yes. Man, my phone storage is, I keep having to delete. So I got to pick and choose what I want to delete because my phone storage be filling up so damn fast. It's freaking insane. But my phone's almost paid off, so I'll probably most likely upgrade to the iPhone 16. We shall see.
I think we just got my son at 11. I think that's what it was. But, I mean, the one he had before, I think he only had like 64 gigs of space, and it blew my mind. Because I was like, how do you do anything on your phone? Like, you need way more space than that nowadays. Responding to the 7OH paid. I'll tell you what, though. Those paid protesters in Rhode Island that came and bombarded AKA when they was trying to do the nobody ever owned up man to that.
Nope, they didn't. We had to dig for that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to dig hard though.
No.
Because we know who's connected to who. Oh, and you know what else trips me out? Okay, so these 7OHers are, like I said, they're freaking pissed off. They're opioid raging big time. And they keep sharing this one video that does a deep dive on Matt Caddo and the AKA and all that stuff, right? They're not even realizing that person in that video is a vendor themselves, and they are working for GKC, Global Kratom Coalition, aka Feel Free Tonics, aka JW Ross, aka Jerry Cash. They're sharing that video like, oh, it's such a proud moment. Like, oh, everything, pretty much everything in that video, Mac has disclosed himself.
Yeah.
If you've ever sat down and watched the webinars. So they don't even realize that that person's a vendor and is a major 7OH hater. You know, y'all need to be investigating who you think who's doing the investigations.
All right.
They think that's a, oh, we got you moment. Oh, man. If you only knew.
Okay. I think
Did you share it in my group? I missed my Facebook fam.
I knew I forgot. I knew I forgot something. Dude, Facebook ain't the same without Misty. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know, I got banned on Facebook in June. Pretty sure I know who's responsible for it, but hey, you know. The Crunchy Panties crew loves me so much. Because you know, the Kratom truth shatters their reality and what they've been told, which you need to blame your medical examiner for that shit.
Yeah.
And don't give me that bullshit that he's got a degree. Good God. You can have a degree, like, I still, to this day, like, even in the 7OH community, I'm like, how the fuck are these people doctors? Like, what?
Yeah. It blows my mind. Okay. All right, so we're going to watch your TikTok first, and that's the one that shows up like when y'all are actually seeing what's going on. So it's like real time, right?
Yeah, real time. It was the first day of CHAMPS show when we pulled up and we saw a crowd of people, and we're like, what the hell's going on here? Hey, Jen, Mercier.
Hey, Jen.
Happy
birthday. Oh, no, that's somebody else. That's Amanda. Sorry. My bad.
She says the amount of division in the world bums me out. Yep.
Totally. And it's like, we don't need division in, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere within all these different communities, all these different, topics, all that stuff, but it's what they want. They want division, and it's like the other thing that kills me is that the 7OHers, not only do they blame us Kratom advocates for raising awareness and education about their beloved product, where the fuck were y'all? We've been doing this for almost 2 years. Well, we started talking. I cannot pinpoint when we started talking about it, Jennifer. It had to have been like.
It was like in December of 2023.
That was when it was like being talked about at the
or January,
we were in DC.
Or January of 20. Wait, hold up.
Because then it started really coming into my reality at the first CHAMPS show I attended in February of 2024. That's when we started seeing the 7OH booths, but it was very minimal then. And then when we went to the CHAMPS show in July of 2024, it doubled. The booths doubled. And then February this year, it tripled. And then just a couple weeks ago, it like quadrupled.
I'm thinking it was, dude, I'm telling you, it had to be the beginning of 2024.
Yeah. And it's like, you didn't, there was nobody talking about it on TikTok, nobody was talking about how 7OH was saving their lives. Nobody was even talking about how 7OH was ruining their lives. Like, if you want to blame anybody for raising awareness, I used I was so leery about using my platform to start talking about it because I didn't want it, the 7OH fucking manufacturer. Nope. 7OH dealers to be like, oh, she's just giving us free promotion, all that shit. But, and then, like I said, I feared that the people that had been following me for a long time, were going to go out and try it, which they did. And then they blamed me for using my platform as a billboard. All that shit. I can't
Well,
control
it's just
it.
like all them people be blaming Goblin for him, his
Yeah.
videos. It's like a meme.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to save everybody, but at least you're doing right by just putting the
Yeah.
true 100% truth and science, most up to date shit out.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
And what finally made me go like full steam ahead, was because the comments and the inbox messages I was getting regarding 7OH. I'm like, something's not right here. Because here, these veteran consumers have been following me for a long time, and they've been consuming kratom way longer than me. But all of a sudden, they found themselves in a new addiction because it is taunted as a more potent form of kratom. And that
or a more pure form of kratom,
or more pure, and it's not even kratom at all.
Yeah, I saw a comment yesterday, and it was like, even talking about like the pseudoindoxil. Oh, you can't get that; it comes from the leaf, and it's like, you're talking about something that is isolated. Mitragenine. Mitragenine is isolated and then converted with chemicals to produce 7OH that your body would naturally do, through in your liver.
Yep.
And then, they're taking that and then chemically altering that into pseudoindoxil. So it's not really like, it's not really from the leaf. Like you're making it with chemicals. It's a mixture of chemicals.
Becky, hey girl.
Hey, Becky.
She says, I'm seeing so many people on Reddit that are saying that they don't know what they'll do when it's scheduled. I wonder what they did before it came out. Most of them were doing fine with powder or full spectrum extracts. Now all of a sudden they're freaking out because they might not have 7 anymore. Sorry, go back to powder and the good extracts. I agree. Yeah. And then that's dude, like the people on Reddit, they're talking about if 7OH becomes a scheduled drug, they're going to try their damnedest to get kratom scheduled.
Yeah, I've even seen someone say they were going to make it their life's mission.
Yeah. And I cannot, there's so many times that I have
like, why don't you make it your life's mission to go fucking advocate for 7OH if that's
yes.
Where
were you? Where were you? These companies have made billions off of what you're putting inside your body, but not one lick of money went to any research development at all. There's a Beagle study that came out, which I guess the video that we're fixing to watch, the guy explains the Beagle study a little bit. Yeah, I haven't watched it, so. Yeah, hey, Kate. Yeah, they can just go back to powder, but they're so pissed off with their immature asses talk about they're going to spend their last mission to get kind of bad. Well, okay, whatever. Kratom doesn't meet the A-factor analysis.
Oh man, it's just, I don't know. It's sad to see all. It's sad to see people that we've known so long in the community and stuff just.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit how long I've known you, but you're all in. You're trying. I will block you in a heartbeat. I will fucking block you in a heartbeat. I have boundaries. My mental health is way more important than what the fuck you're trying to make me feel like what you're going through. Nah, get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying right there. It's like, go after, instead of, blaming the AK and kratom advocates, go after all these people that made all that money off of y'all by selling under these names.
Billions of dollars.
Like,
ain't no damn, I mean, like, what? And I'm sorry I keep saying like I said, or I always say this, I'm sorry I keep saying that, but I feel like I'm a broken record. Who in their right mind would name their products that are alluding to narcotics? Their targeted communities were active addicts and chronic pain patients. What do those two communities have in common? Drugs. Whether it's prescribed or illicit, it's drugs.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Jen. They're almost at like 2,000. I mean, 10,000 shit. 10,000 signatures.
And they're putting the signatures on the wrong damn thing. It's like they got to, you know, when the DEA opens the public comment period for the scheduling, first of all, we're going to have to watch out for bot comments. But,
Yeah.
you know, because them fucking 708 dealers are some shady ass motherfuckers. You know, I could see them putting that damn link in a bot farm or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to watch that.
Yeah, targeting addicts and chronic pain patients. I mean, it's obvious that's what they were doing.
You know, and if you hear somebody say that they take, I take 708 on my bad pain days, what do you do in the meantime? I bet you take a kratom powder.
Yep.
But now you want to make it your last mission to go get kratom banned? Shit, get the fuck out of here.
I tell you what, man, it don't make no sense. All right, so this is, am I screen sharing? Yeah, okay, I got it. Sorry. All right, so this is when Misty was at the Champ show and they literally pull up to chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, let me go full screen. All right. That looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I was there. This is the moment we found out.
Nice and slow.
No, it's about kratom as well.
You know they're fucking paid.
No, it says kratom is not equal to 708.
You know they're paid.
Hey! 708!
That's me yelling.
708! 708!
I was with the American Kratom Association at the CHAMPS trade show last week. We were just as shocked as anybody else that pulled up that day. The American Kratom Association did not pay for protesters. Let me repeat that. The American Kratom Association did not pay for protesters. They would not spend money like that. If it was one of the vendors that did it, the American Kratom Association has no say in that. You know, I still don't know who did the protest. All I know is that Mac Haddo and the American Kratom Association did not pay for protesters. So you could go shut that fucking lie down right now. The only thing that they got correct is that 7-OH is not kratom. 7-OH is a shit stain to kratom. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's right.
And so the video that we're about to play is the people that are owning up to paying for the protesters that we got. I got this information today.
All right. All right. Hold on. Okay,
You're fine.
And there we go. And there we
Hide
go.
nothing, gain nothing.
Hide nothing, gain nothing.
Inside of our organization, inside of our company, with the way I communicate. And by the time this video is done, I'll be as transparent as could possibly be. I ask you to take a handful of moments, watch the video, comment below, and judge all that you want to. Part of progressing the science of kratom, 7-hydroxy, and other metabolites forward is to have open and communicative dialogue on both sides of the aisle. That doesn't happen until we start to own what really goes on. That's the nature of this communication. I might be in a studio with great lighting, with fancy cameras. I'm just myself. Myself happens to be Ryan Niddel, the CEO of Diversified Botanics, which owns MIT 45, Golden Monk Kratom, Uprising, Kava, and a handful of other brands. I felt compelled to share this video because of the sense of transparency. As so much so, I've asked the team to edit very little of this. It's just who I am. This is what I believe in. It's okay if you don't agree with me. I just ask you to have an open mind through the end of this video. I came into our company in 2019 with no knowledge of kratom. Quite honestly, I didn't care about it. I'd had some successes and failures in other businesses before, and came into this business to consult with the founders on ways to make it more efficient, more effective. No passion for what kratom is, what it does, or how it can hurt and help people across the US. But as time progressed over the past 6 years, caring about the business turned into caring about the plant and caring about the science. And through that, the industry has grown and matured. That's allowed me to grow and mature. In the growth and maturation of myself and of our brand, started to focus on the scientific rigor that would be required to bring products to market. Things that prior to being a part of Diversified Botanics, I didn't know existed. I don't have a PhD. I'm not a scientific researcher. I don't have an MBA. I'm just a guy that loves to see what's possible. And by that, seeing what's possible has led me down a series of different roads that are interesting, to say it politely. Sometime, as our company has grown, we have went from a small company with 25 employees trying to figure it out in Salt Lake City, Utah, to at our peak 150 full-time employees, 5 rooftops,
Damn.
multiple different brands, and multiple different ways to approach the industry. Those twists and turns have led to conversations with individuals that have been illuminating on both sides of this conversation. Most recently, I have been a vocal proponent of taking 7-hydroxymetragenine off of the market. That is something that I am passionate about having happen. I know as you're watching this, you sit on one side of on two sides of one aisle. One side you hear that, and you're frustrated right now. And you're frustrated by the fact that you've used 7-hydroxy to benefit your life. Perhaps you've struggled with opioid addiction. Perhaps you struggle with large amounts of pain. Perhaps 7-OH has been the bridge to get you off of pharmaceutical-grade opioids. I feel for you. I feel for you that this frustrates you, that someone like me is looking to take a product off of market that helps you. I get it. I get it more than you might know. I'm going to take you down memory lane just for one moment. Quite some time ago, I launched a CBD company before people knew what CBD was. And during that time, I had my closest friend working with me that started to experience a different sense of life. Our company started to do better, and he started to do better, which led him to leaving a small town and progressing forward to downtown Columbus, Ohio. And in that, my best friend Miles actually struggled with opioid addiction. Now his path is probably much like yours. In high school, got in an accident, broke his leg, and was put on a Dilaudid drip with the best intentions. When he got out of the hospital after 4, 5, 6 months of time, he was given prescription painkillers to help bridge off of Dilaudid, to deal with the pain that he had inside of himself that he didn't ask for. Once his prescription expired, there was no path. He didn't know what to do next. And so he, like so many others, turned to the black market for prescription painkillers. At some point when those prescription painkillers were too expensive, too hard to get, too hard to find, he turned to heroin. Miles Dawson was his name, went back and forth and in and out of rehab from the best of my recollection, which is all this video is, from 18 to 22 or 23. Stints of rehab, stints of being sober, stints of relapsing. He went through it all. But from 23 until his late 20s, Miles was clean. Miles was a vocal advocate for sobriety, for helping people understand that just because you became addicted doesn't mean it's a life sentence. As Miles started to do better and better for himself and better with our company, he moved. He leased a new apartment in downtown Columbus in a great part of town. It was the weekend of March 3rd, which happened to be something called the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Miles had never been before. I was excited to show him around and have him come to various events. Friday evening, he went out in downtown Columbus to a bar, had a few drinks, One thing leads to another, and Miles picks up a small amount of cocaine to bring back to his apartment, which was empty, on the west side of Columbus. Miles takes that cocaine, puts it next to his sink, proceeds to do a line of cocaine that happened to be laced with fentanyl. He overdosed and died by himself in his apartment March 3rd. I remember the exact place I was sitting in the car I was in, when I got the phone call that Miles was dead.
I know that feeling.
That's a feeling that still hits now. I believe for someone like Miles, 7OH could have been an incredible gift for him in that moment of need. It's something he's never going to get to experience. It's something that matters enough that I have his eye tattooed on my arm. A poem that meant something to us. So when I say that I understand how frustrated you could be with me, I truly mean it. But if you're not in that camp, you're in another camp, which is the camp of me wanting to take 7-hydroxy off the market is the best thing that could happen. Because perhaps you on that camp has seen someone you love, someone you care about, look for a recreational experience of an opioid, become addicted, struggle with dependency, still probably bouncing out of rehab, maybe has passed away as well, and you do anything in your power to ensure the fact that opioids were not on the market. That's the very nature of the polarization of this topic. It's something that I don't take lightly. It's something that I have a tremendous amount of empathy and compassion for both sides of that conversation. But inside of our company, as I started to understand at some point the tragedy, kratom, and how it works, I started to become very curious on what was possible. So when I came into our world of the kratom industry, I wasn't here because Miles passed away. I didn't know what kratom was, what it did. This is not a story of, I created this business to make certain that things happened. Couldn't be further from the truth. I wasn't here on the ground floor. But what happened over a long enough period of time is I started to look into the different ways that kratom interacts with the human body. See, in 2016, the FDA focused a tremendous amount of effort to banning kratom from the marketplace.
I really wonder if it's because of the 7OH.
As so much so in 2016, the FDA put out a notice to turn kratom into a Schedule 1 narcotic, had the support of the DEA, and was prepared to ban it. And one of the few times that I can find, the DEA reversed that ruling, went back and asked the FDA for more information, and the pursuit was on. The pursuit was on as so much that from 2017 until 2024, the FDA has pushed and pushed and pushed to ban kratom. Of course, the capitalistic side of me didn't want that to happen. At that point in time, we have 150 full-time employees. We're an industry leader in our space.
Michael, this isn't AI. What's
We
up,
got
dude?
people depending on us, not only inside of our company, but outside of our company, to keep the product in market. Now, I must share, I don't believe, even to this moment in time, that kratom is a panacea. I don't think it's an end-all to be-all. I don't think that kratom should be specifically marketed for pain relief. I don't think it should be marketed as an opioid replacement. I think I have spent time studying science, interacting with scientific researchers, funding levels of studies, not only at Johns Hopkins, not only at Harvard, not only University of Florida, but also our own internal studies. Kratom has a plethora of different benefits. For
Why
right
didn't the
people with
7OH
responsible
motherfuckers
consumption.
do the same thing?
I'll share what that means to me later. As we went down that path and considered the possibilities, I started to think, how could we structure this? How could we examine the molecular structure of kratom to get a deeper understanding of really how it works? This was before artificial intelligence. This was before all the information that's available everywhere possible, which led us down the path of something called an HPLC and a rotochrome machine. There's a chance you've probably never heard of these before. I know I hadn't.
That's too fast.
But what those two
Yeah.
various machines enable you to do is to separate the 52 independent components of kratom. Those independent components are alkaloids, subalkaloids, and metabolites. As we explored that in early 2023, perhaps even as early as late 2022, we became very curious on 7-hydroxymetragenine. As we understood how to separate it, and we started to do a sense of additional research into the effects of that specific component, specifically known as a metabolite, it started to become very apparent to us that that metabolite had one function and one function only: to bond with, to be an agonist for the mu opioid receptor. It's with that in that moment I started thinking, man, if we brought this product to market, there's a chance a lot of people will start to consume it and become addicted.
And they
There's
did.
also a conversation that we could help a lot of people by the fact of the people that were looking to get off of prescription opioids. And a debate waged for it. Which side do you go with? Well, in all the research that we could find and all the studies that were conducted, the only thing we could see is that 7-hydroxymetragenine in its purest form, being an agonist for the mu opioid receptor, was somewhere between 10 and 40 times more potent than morphine. We just kept circling back to that. Is that really what we should do? Is that really what we should bring to market? And sometime between late 2022 and mid 2023, I would have put MIT 45, it's probably the second, maybe third largest kratom company in the country. National distribution, international distribution. We would have had no problem creating this product, taking it to market, and having a fascinating amount of new customers, tremendous amounts of new revenue. We still decided not to. We decided not to because at that moment in time, the risk versus reward didn't pan out into what we were looking for inside of our company.
That's admirable.
He said
Life carries
2023.
forward.
He said
Other
2022,
people were
2023.
exploring the same
Okay.
possibilities of the kratom leaf. And sometime early 2024, 7-hydroxymetragenine came to market. Not from us, from other companies.
Who sold the Krabby Patty recipe?
It's challenging to know if we made the right decision or the wrong one. But in this moment in time, we made the right one. At least to me. See, we could have put capitalism in front of what we believe to be best for society. We could have decided at that moment in time, let's make a product, let's bring it to market, let's see what happens. See, I didn't know these things prior to being a part of this company, but the FDA has really two pathways from my understanding of bringing a product to market. See, as a supplement company, supplement manufacturer, you have a responsibility to prove safety prior to bringing a product to market. Well, in safety data, it's a little nebulous with products like this. How do you prove that something's safe? The other pathway is you can bring product to market, and if you have enough servings in the marketplace without significant adverse effects, that can be deemed safety data. Well, here we sit, 18 to 24 months after that point in time, with millions and millions of servings of 7-hydroxymetragenine being consumed by people all over the US. The safety data to me becomes questionable. It becomes questionable to me at this point because there's not solid toxicology screenings that test for exclusively 7-hydroxymetragenine.
That's
They
right.
test for a plethora of different items. And in saying that, another fact that I didn't know prior to joining our company, currently, there's no standard toxicology screening required by the federal government. There's no standard toxicology screening required post-mortem state by state. Toxicology screenings are left up to the county in which someone perishes in. Depending on the funding of that county and their appetite for exploration is going to determine the rigor of the toxicology screenings that were provided. That tells me that the data is inconclusive. Not that it's good, not that it's bad, just that we don't know. And so we continue down this path where we see hundreds of thousands of people starting to consume 7-hydroxy. I've had friends of mine sheepishly come to me and tell a version of the same story. They went to the local retailer to consume the brand of their choice. And they went to that retailer, whether it's a gas station, a convenience store, a smoke shop, wherever you're buying the product from. And they were met with we're out of stock right now, which happens. the natural inclination for someone at that moment in time is to ask, well, what else do you recommend? The proprietor behind the counter says, I'm not certain, but everybody's buying this new product. That new product, in this situation and in many others, was 7-hydroxymetragenine.
The free sample.
From that moment in time, these individuals state that they tried 7-hydroxy because it was presented to them as a more pure kratom extract.
Yep.
They went from 1 serving to 2 servings a day, to a serving every 8 hours, to a serving every 6 hours. To not be able to make it through the night without being in cold sweats.
It's every 2 hours, pretty much.
They're eventually checking themselves into outpatient rehab to get off of the consumption of 7-hydroxy. It's when I heard that early this year that I said something has to be done. Now, what to do? I had no idea. I just knew that someone had to start sounding the alarm. Someone had to start to speak up about the potential onset of the 4th wave of the opioid epidemic. Now, I know if you're on the side that is using 7-hydroxy to get off of prescription opioids, you say there's no chance this is the 4th wave of an opioid epidemic because you don't believe it to be. I feel for you. On the other side, you have individuals that walked into a retailer that had no idea what they were signing up for.
We get comments like that
They
all
consume
the
the product that
time.
unknowingly
Yeah.
had a 100% affinity to the mu opioid receptor that functions inside your body the same way that morphine does, the same way that fentanyl does, the same way the Percocets do. And they became addicted. See, I also didn't know the definition of addiction as it pertains to, I'll say the FDA, but really just a clinical standard. Addiction is defined by the necessity for chemical intervention to stop using a product. The number of people that have needed Suboxone or methadone to get off of 7-hydroxy is tremendously large.
Yeah.
It's insane.
As so much so, we started looking at Reddit. We started looking at YouTube videos. We started asking customers of ours if they'd experienced this. The answer was yes. They had unknowingly became addicted to a product that they weren't planning on. The difference between addiction and habit forming is habit forming, you're able to stop consumption without chemical intervention. All things I didn't know. This leads to a path, and we're starting to spend a tremendous amount of time in Washington, D.C. I'm not a politician. I didn't know the landscape. I just knew that someone had to start to know this was going on. Our company's still thriving. New facilities, better environments, higher caliber people supporting us. But yet we had started to notice that revenue was declining. That wasn't the reason for the initial action.
I get sick of seeing them
As I
motherfuckers
continue
say
down the
that
path
shit.
of back and forth to Washington, D.C. over and over, and having tireless conversations with people that have never heard of kratom, never heard of metragenine, and certainly didn't understand 7-hydroxymetragenine, I realized just how monumental of a fight this could be. So any sense of change requires a sense of awareness to start with. I wanted to bring the conversation to the forefront so we could have more eyes on what was going on. Was I missing things? Just because rodent studies show 10 to 40 times more potent than morphine? Just because anecdotal experience showed that it was 10 to 40 times more potent and more addictive than morphine? It's a small sample size. Maybe a couple hundred people. Maybe if I'm lucky, it was 1,000 people between Reddit, our customer support inquiries, and just general conversations. So I asked our team to put together a petition to ask if anyone else had experienced this. A petition that somewhere on this page you can see. You'll be able to see the day it launched. You'll be able to see who signed up for it. You'll be able to see what the words and the phrasing was.
I'll put a link to this video
I asked for it because I'm
too,
spending time in
'cause it's got a
Washington,
link
D.C.
to all
and I
the
want to see if it's just
things he's
me
talking about.
or is this really happening.
It's really happening.
Last time I looked at the petition, there's somewhere between 14 and 1,500 people that signed a petition to state that 7-hydroxy had negatively impacted their life or someone they knew. These are people that had no knowledge of us. This wasn't a Diversified Botanics post. This was innocuous. No one knew.
I just want to say again, we said at the beginning of this video, this is in no way, shape, or form vendor sponsored or anything. We're literally just playing this because of this is like a video response to, everybody pointing fingers at
The
the
AKA.
AKA for the paid protesters, the 70H protesters at the CHAMPS show.
So this is somebody owning up to what they did.
Right. It's somebody,
And if anybody's followed me long enough, they knew that I never promote extracts. There's only a time and place for liquid extracts to be used.
Yeah.
And people are using the liquid extracts now to get off of the synthetic 7-OH. So, I've never been a proponent of promoting extracts at all. Unless you're trying to get off illicit fentanyl, heroin, what have you.
Yeah.
Nobody should start off on an extract.
No.
And nobody should start off on a synthetic 7-OH.
No.
Oh, I know, Justin.
Yeah.
I know you know what's up, Justin.
I just want to say, because it's like halfway through, I'm like, let me say it one more time.
Yeah. No, we're
In
watching
that,
a
I start
man
to share
own
that
up
information
Yeah, he's
with
just owning
senators,
up to,
with congressmen,
more
with Health and Human Services,
people in the world need to do
with the
stuff like
FDA,
this.
and with anybody that could listen. Because to me, at that moment in time, it became obvious that something had to be done. Something I stand behind still in this moment in time. During this experience back and forth, some unique things started to happen. I started to become a target of unique interactions. I've been followed by various people.
Man.
I've been approached and interacted with by various people. I've been threatened by various people.
Yeah.
I've been told not to go back to Washington, D.C., and now I've even received death threats.
Choo!
Insane.
6 years ago, I didn't know what kratom was. Now, I'm receiving death threats
He ain't the only
for
one.
standing up for
No.
something that I believe that science supports going down a different pathway.
That's
As we're having
sad.
these conversations, I'm
Yeah.
seeing this transpire. The CHAMPS trade show is right around the corner. The CHAMPS trade show is an industry trade show that is specific for the counterculture world. It's a trade show that at MIT 45 we have sponsored or exhibited in every year other than the last 2 since I've been a part of the company. It's in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't see their booth there.
It's kind of the end-all to be-all for our market. And so I, on my own free will and accord, with no intervention, no feedback from anybody inside of our company, ask our team to send an email to anybody on the petition list to see if they would come be a part of a peaceful protest in Las Vegas at CHAMPS to draw awareness to this issue. That led to the eventuality of posting on various sources offering to pay people to be a part of a peaceful protest to start the CHAMPS trade show. A decision that in this moment, I still unequivocally stand behind. I stand behind it, not to say that 7-OH is bad. Not to say that 7-OH is the end-all to be-all and the worst thing in the world. But I stand behind it to draw awareness to a conversation that's needing to be had. See, this wasn't anything more than a level of theatrics to draw attention to it. Until there's attention drawn to a subject, it's very challenging to have open dialogue. So from that, our team had nothing to do with it. I did. I share that because 2 days ago, on Reddit, someone posted a video, scrolling through our executive team, sharing that all of these people need to be essentially taken care of.
Yeah, Luigi.
These individuals that had nothing to do with this needed to be Luigi'd officially.
Yep. I fucking knew it.
Essentially, these people needed to be killed because of decisions that I made. They had nothing to do with it.
So
I did.
insane.
That's psychotic.
During that same conversation, during that same protest, a few weeks earlier, a group called HART, the Holistic Alternative Recovery Trust, shared a study around 7-hydroxymetragenine that they had
Beagle
conducted on
study?
beagles.
Yep.
I don't have it committed to memory, but the best that I can share is the fact that this study was originally supposed to go from 10 milligrams
Mhm.
to 20 milligrams to 30 or 40 milligrams of consumption.
40.
From the first day when the 10 milligram serving size was administered, The beagles had such negative adverse effects, they had to stop the study.
And instead of starting the study over, they reduced the milligrams.
The study itself and the recap of it is below this video. The study was recalibrated to go from 1 milligram to 2 to an eventuality of 4.
Why do you do that in
Much like yourself,
mid-study?
I didn't know the difference between a beagle study and a human study. 10 milligrams of consumption in a beagle is roughly equal to 30 to 33 milligrams of consumption in a human. At 10 milligrams, they had to stop their own study and recalibrate it because of the stated adverse effects. That doesn't mean that the product is good nor that it's bad, just that there were adverse effects that were present.
And they're not forward that information.
Yeah.
Now in that, as I've shared that before, the next natural part of the conversation is, but kratom's the same thing.
Nope.
I'm going to go back to the way we started our conversation with the fact that the FDA, starting in 2016, all the way to 2024, wanted to ban kratom. As so much so that somewhere along that journey, the FDA sponsored a single ascending dose study on full spectrum kratom leaf. That study was shared at the Kratom Symposium in mid-2024. That
Now,
study
can you pause
in
it right
40
here?
healthy adults.
That Kratom Symposium is not made to the public. So anybody that attends the Kratom Symposium, it's inside information. You know, there's no live stream of that event or anything. So anybody that goes, they get the firsthand knowledge of what's coming out. So that's how Mac Haddo and them are confident on what they say.
Right. Yeah.
We haven't watched that yet, Kate. But yeah. Okay, I'll keep my comments to myself.
Some with previous kratom experience, some with not, showed some fascinating results. This single ascending dose study went from 2 grams of consumption up to 12 grams of consumption throughout the administration of the servings.
And they were capsules.
All the way up to 12 grams of consumption, the FDA's study showed no significant adverse effects. They saw no evidence of withdrawal. They showed no evidence of euphoria. They showed no evidence of dependency. They showed no evidence of respiratory suppression. It was fascinating in that moment. I was at that symposium. I remember the individual from the FDA sharing this, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. They've wanted to ban this product for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like caused another ripple of us starting to do more research. How is this possible? Well, inside of the 52 various alkaloids, subalkaloids, and metabolites that are part of kratom, there's a series of different mechanisms of action that happen. Some that we refer to now as a symphony of alkaloids. So you have 3 various alkaloids that have an affinity or are agonist or partial agonist to the mu-opioid receptor.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have another 2 to 4 subalkaloids or metabolites that are a buffer between the substances and the mu-opioid receptor. Things we didn't know. Things that after 12 grams of consumption, which equates to somewhere between 20 milligrams and 240 milligrams of metragenine, the most prevalent alkaloid in all of kratom, they saw no adverse effects.
I can't imagine swallowing 24
When I was
capsules.
at this symposium, something clicked for me personally. That we have to do a better job in the extract market regulating our serving size. We have to do a better job of creating full spectrum alkaloids exclusively that match or mimic the behavior and the experience of raw kratom leaf. I sat with our counterparts inside of a meeting somewhere between October and November of 2023 and said, the writing's on the wall. There are no adverse effects stated. Let's standardize a serving size. Let's agree as an industry that 25 milligrams of metragenine, and then all the alkaloids below that in the natural profile, unadulterated, unedited. Let's agree that that's a serving size. And let's ensure the fact that we recommend that someone shouldn't consume more than 5 servings a day, equating to 125 milligrams of metragenine, still significantly less than the max serving size on the single ascending dose study. my counterparts in the industry looked at me like I was crazy. There was talk about reformulation. There was talk about additional expenses. There was talk of any number of different things that they didn't see eye to eye on. I'm not saying I was right or that they were wrong. It was just the conversation. Well, I'm no stranger to going against the flow of things. And we still made the decision at that moment in time to completely change the way we were showing up as an industry, as a business in the industry. We decided to begin with metered servings on all of our products.
What does that mean?
We decided to alter to childproof and tamper-evident lids. We decided to standardize a serving size at 25 milligrams of metragenine per product. We decided to put QR codes on our product that allowed for 24/7,
Self-regulate.
365 video feed access into our production facility so that a customer could see what we're doing and how we're doing it. We decided to take that same QR code and attach all the certificates of analysis from origin to consumption.
Huh.
We did it because I believe that transparency wins, which is why I'm sharing this with you.
Why didn't the 708 dealer do this shit?
See, the
That's what I'm
study that was
saying.
conducted by the group that for so
And still
long
haven't.
wanted to
No,
ban
yeah.
kratom was indicative of the pathway to me that we needed to walk down as an industry, that we decided to walk down on our own. So as CHAMPS concludes, the Heart Group and the American Kratom Association have an open debate.
Oh, that was.
And in that debate, it comes up that there are paid actors touting the downside of 7-hydroxy. Many of them were. They were paid for
I
by
wasn't paid.
us. They were paid for by me. Not to suggest that they were consumers, but to have a heightened sense of awareness of what was going on with the product. Those peaceful protesters did just that. They drew awareness of something that has been going on at an incredible rate for the past 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
7-hydroxy wasn't in the market in any sort of prevalent quantity prior to early 2024. And now the estimations are that 7-hydroxy is roughly $4 billion of annualized revenue domestically. It's a lot of
Insane.
consumption.
18 months.
A lot of consumption that we could have capitalized on starting in 2023 that we chose not to.
I applaud any vendor that did not
Yeah.
Figure it out,
capitalize
because
on
this
this.
isn't about the old guard versus the new guard. This isn't about taking product away from you. If you're one of the individuals that has responsibly consumed 7-hydroxy to bridge off of prescription opioids, it's really quite the opposite. See, somewhere in the U.S., there's an estimated in between 550,000 and 3.2 million people that are currently in the process of being weaned off of opioids. There's a link to where I got that data from below this video. I haven't validated it personally, but it stands within reason. I look at if 20% of those people, as many as 660,000 people, could potentially experience the benefit of something like 7-hydroxy, a synthesized botanic, to get them off of prescription opioids, that's incredible. But then I pause for a second. And I think of how many people currently are walking into smoke shops, gas stations, and convenience stores every year purchasing products.
Every day.
That estimated number is somewhere around 128 million people. Let's assume 20% of those would be open to buying something they've never considered before at point of sale. Let's assume that 20% has never heard of kratom, has never heard of 7-hydroxymetragenine, and just is curious because they like to try new things, oftentimes referred to as the early adopters. If 20% of those, that's roughly 26 or so million people. And let's assume out of those, only 20% of those would actually make the buying decision. That's 5 million people that unknowingly consumed a product that is 100% agonist of the mu opioid receptor.
It was a drug for a drug.
I had to sit down and say, the law of large numbers says you have to protect the bigger group. You have to watch out for the people that don't know. You have to have the conversations to protect those that don't know what they're about to encounter. The conversation hasn't been to penalize the people that are using it responsibly. So understand the challenge that the FDA goes through in a situation like this. you have a classification of consumables like 7-hydroxy, like various synthetic derivatives of cannabis, like various synthetic derivatives of psilocybin that don't fit a traditional classification anywhere. They're not a food. They're not really a dietary ingredient. And they don't really fit a pharmaceutical. It's another unknown fact that I had no idea existed. If you want to bring a pharmaceutical product to market and you're a lead at it, you're the best of the best, it's probably going to take you 6 years. It's probably going to take you $80 million or more.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do so, you'd want a competitive moat built around that product because you want to recoup your $80 million. A naturally occurring synthetic product like 7-hydroxy, there's no way to create a moat around it. It doesn't fit the traditional pharmaceutical pathway either, while simultaneously interacting with the human body in the same way that morphine, fentanyl, and other opioids do. So I truly understand the frustration. I understand that the FDA doesn't have a clear path other than to protect the novice consumer, the same way that we have chosen to protect the novice consumer by standardizing our serving size, by putting droppers on all of our products, by creating metered servings. So we're far from perfect.
I've always said that. Then you put droppers in there.
Which is the exact reason I felt compelled to share this video. I felt compelled to share the video because if you're someone like Miles, my friend, that passed away, that could have benefited from a synthesized botanic that estimated as many as 5 million people, this could be an incredible opportunity. But if you're like the thousands of people that we've interacted with that don't have chemical dependency, that haven't consumed an opioid before, that stumble upon this product unknowingly and now become addicted, that number's as much as 25 million.
My comments are insane about it.
There's no perfect answer. There's no clear path. But part of this to me is to draw an awareness of the conversation and have an open dialogue. See, my counterparts inside of our company don't deserve to be at the receiving end of death threats. They had nothing to do with this.
That's fucking psychotic.
And for the groups of people that have decided to try to intimidate me, to follow me around, to create death threats, that's your prerogative. It doesn't change the fact that science is sharing the same thing I'm sharing with you.
Yeah.
Somewhere on this page, everything that I've shared are links for you to review yourself.
You let the science speak.
What I'm looking to do is bring responsible conversations to a challenging moment in time. A moment in time where the right answer is not crystal clear. A moment in time where at any moment we could snap our fingers, create a 7-hydroxy product, bring it to market, and sell millions of units. But at some point, to me, every business owner is faced with a decision. That decision is, do you chase the revenue? Do you chase the capital? Do you chase the profit? Or do you chase what's right for a novice consumer?
He didn't want to go morally bankrupt.
I'm not begrudging my counterparts that have decided to make 7-hydroxy.
Yeah.
They saw an opportunity in the marketplace and decided to capitalize on it.
They don't give a fuck about
It's easy for me to say as one of the largest handful of kratom companies in the country that we didn't have to go down that path. I don't know what I would have done if this had come out 5 years ago when we were a fraction of the size. I'd like to think I would have taken the same pathway, but I can't actually do that. What I can share is the FDA's studies, even Hart's own studies as of right now, would be indicative of the fact that this product does not belong in commerce for unknowing consumers.
Absolutely.
It belongs somewhere else.
Yeah.
It needs to have restricted access that's way more significant than behind the counter at a smoke shop or a gas station.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
The same type of study, but instead of beagles taking a step back towards rodents, showed unequivocal data that 7-hydroxy is not only addictive, but causes respiratory depression.
Sure does.
The very nature of that has me standing firm with the fact of 7-hydroxy does not deserve to be in the market the way it's currently been produced.
Since the beginning.
Oh, is that it?
Dang, he said peace.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. So like I said, I was at CHAMPS, and when we pulled up, we were like, we videoed the protesters. We're like, what the fuck is this You know, at first, what first came to my mind was the Grieving Moms Club. You know, I thought it was them.
Yeah.
You know? But then, you know, we get in there and
I thought it was GKC.
And then that's my second thought. It was GKC.
Again.
And then I go outside to go talk to them, you know. And like I said, you know, majority of them didn't know what they were protesting. So I had to break it down to them. What's natural kratom versus synthetic 7-OH, what the difference is between them. And so a lot of them felt great after I explained it to them. Like, oh, okay, this makes sense. You know, you know, and the fact that while we are there, we are at the American Kratom Association booth. You know, it put a target on us, which I didn't appreciate at all.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, kind of had us like
spooked.
Yeah, we were spooked.
Yeah,
we truly were. You know, and
I mean, people are getting death threats right now.
Yeah.
So, and y'all are like right up there at the trade show with a giant ass sign. You know what I'm saying? It's like advertising where you are. I mean, I could totally, I'd be spooked.
The amount of people that came up to us asking us if we were responsible for that. And we were like, because I didn't fucking know. We were just as shocked. Even Matt Caddo was there on the first day. We were all just like, what in the hell? What? So, I don't know. It put a target on us, but I love the fact that he's manning up to it. You know, people still freaking comment that stupid ass bullshit that the AKA was the fat. Whatever.
And I mean, you know, I never used Met 45 myself. I don't care. You know, I'm not saying, again, you know, I'm not like, as a person that, you know, regardless on why he's doing it, you know, I respect someone that can stand up and admit that they did something, even when it's not a popular opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I can respect that. Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I don't advocate for extracts to be used except for now. Extracts, the liquid extracts are what's getting people off of synthetic 7-OH versus someone having to go to rehab. We're getting, like, I know people want to say that my comments or my private messages, that's anecdotal evidence, you know, or whatever the fuck that, you know, but there's a common thread. It's like a clusterfuck. You know, I have people.
Well, it's like the same story over. Yes. It's not like it's, you know, like, you know how you hear like with kratom, they're like, oh, I had heart failure, and somebody else is like, I got cancer in my butthole, and somebody else is like, you know, my tongue fell out. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same story with the 7-OH.
And that's what made me start talking about it on my TikToks, because I was so leery. I knew about it for months. I didn't want to speak on it because I got accused of, you know, they fucking accused people that saw the videos that I was posting up. Fucking curiosity killed their damn cat, you know, and they went out and tried it, and they want to blame me for using my platform as a billboard. Like, fuck, get the fuck, what? No. I keep telling y'all what the hell's wrong with it. You know, I keep showing y'all the science or lack thereof science. You know, I can't control what you do. You want to be all curious about, oh, does it feel like a Percocet? Does it feel like a Oxy 30? You know,
dude, this right here, protesting for money is super douchey thing to do. You protest when it's something you truly, absolutely agree. I would never do that. But I mean, there's people that be doing that. I mean, there's people that have no morals at all. They'll do anything for money. There's a lot of people I know. Personally, I actually know quite a few people like that.
Yeah, I do too, and they're within the kratom community. You
know?
Don't think we don't notice.
And yet, I mean, at the end of the day, Jen, that's what he was saying. Like he paid for the protesters.
Yeah, those protester videos that I put up on TikTok showing that. Yeah, it was them. It was Mid 45 or Diversified Botanics.
Yeah.
Because you ain't got, you know, when you look at it, you ain't got to pay for protesters. There are plenty of kratom advocates that'll get out there and do that. But that would put us in harm's way, you know, because like I said, it inadvertently put our booth in harm's way while we were there. So, but, you know, Yeah, the AK and them. I'm sure other people are getting death threats as well. So far,
Yeah.
my comments and my inbox are full of the 708ers that are freaking pissed off and opioid raging big time. So they're fat shaming me, or they made a meme of me. You know, I don't know. And you know, the majority of the 708ers come from the Reddit community, and somebody needs to put a muzzle on them. Someone needs to tell them that this is the wrong way to go about advocating for your opioid.
Yeah. I can't my stupid comment. My replies don't work. Yeah, Jen, they were not I don't know why I can't. They were not at Champs. They didn't have a booth at Champs, Met 45.
Yeah, I guess he said they hadn't had one for a couple years, and I don't remember seeing their booth last year or this year. So, but this year, this Champs that happened a couple weeks ago.
I fucking hate it when something doesn't work right.
Now you're looking like the Reddit community, all pissed off typing. Fuck, what was I even talking about? Oh, I was saying that this year there was hardly any Kratom vendors that were at the Champ show. You know,
That's
there was about,
insane.
I know that one guy, so I posted up or I don't know if I posted that part, but when that debate was happening between Hart and the American Kratom Association, after the debate was over, Dr. McCurdy did a question and answer thing, right? And one of the guys that got up there was talking about there was 170 7OH booths. I lost count. I freaking lost count on, you know, so there was, I don't know.
Well, I mean, compared to last year.
Yeah.
Like when you went last year, there was a lot, but you know, it's just
and it's like, you know, so it's always been explained to me from all these different 7OH booths, like there's pretty much only two manufacturers that are making these products, right? They're all pretty much under the same umbrella, and they're all just being white labeled or whatever, you know?
Reddit is the bastion of batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can publicly make death threats there, but you can't mention a Kratom vendor's name in the Kratom subreddit. Yeah. That's just crazy. You also can't say any like negative effects about 7OH either.
You know, and it's like,
and
they want to talk about how they're blaming us advocates and the AKA and all and GKC, everybody that put awareness onto the 7OH shit that's going down, right? Y'all got nobody else to blame but yourselves, because the FDA and DEA, all them scour the Reddit community. The Reddit community was one of the communities they listed on that FDA thing. It was them, Blue Light, and a third one.
But it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think that's part of education, is to read people's firsthand experiences too, you know? Yeah, yeah, this right here. They was talking about doxing Misty last year.
No, this year, February.
Yeah, it was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Crazy.
they joked about getting me swatted while I was in Vegas. And my kids are here at home. I couldn't do shit but worry.
That's insane.
I don't give a fuck if you don't like me, but
yeah,
but all I was doing was raising awareness about what is being said about 7OH via the researchers and scientists, because I got no opinion other than, like I said, there's a clusterfuck of all the comments and messages that I get, you know, and it's all the same theme. They went to the smoke shop to go get their kratom. They got offered the free sample. Now they're spending their life savings. Now they're going through divorce. Now this person can't see their kids. Now this person doesn't have fucking food for groceries and they want to ask for money. No, you know, no, that's not kratom behavior. And then this year, there's been over 10 smoke shop robberies
that we know of.
Yeah. For 7OH. That is not kratom behavior.
Amanda says they threatened her and her. Dude, and that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you going to threaten people's lives and go, you know, I don't know. To me, that at that point, you know, if you do that shit in the real world, you go to jail for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I remember when that happened, dude. I was freaking out. I just wish there would have something I could have done to help you, and there was nothing. I mean, there's nothing you can do.
There was nothing I could do but fucking put on a brave face, you know, and it's at the show, you know, and it's like I'm sitting here worried about my kids, wondering if they're gonna fucking have like a goddamn those goddamn fucking SWAT vehicles and shit thrown, you know, showing up
Yeah,
here.
I mean, and you hear about that going wrong all the time. You know what I'm saying? That it's just, I don't know. That's like the lowest of the low.
But I don't know. You know, we saw the writing on the wall. We knew that this day was coming. You cannot. I still want to know who was the first person to
Exactly.
get the free sample handed to them, to get the very first point of sale. Who? I want to know who did that. And for those of you that don't know, initially the American Creative Association had a signed agreement with the Heart Association. They fucked up. Your own people fucked you up. That's what they did. They agreed to not market it as a kratom product, and they were supposed to be in the works of getting their science done.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, that Beagle study was funded by one of the main manufacturers of the 7-OH products.
Yeah, and Brandon, I mean, there is a lot. I'm not saying that there, every 7-OH person that consumes 7-OH is a batshit crazy, like the people we're talking about. But I mean, there's a lot, and
I'm telling you what I'm seeing happen ever since the earthquake was dropped last Tuesday. You know, like I said, it created a fault line. Now there's a huge division in the community, but we're at that point. We've been at that point where we have to pick a side anyway. You know, and the way that these people are reacting reminds me of my active addiction days. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And
None.
this is what I'm saying, that like the whole way that it was brought out onto the market, the whole way it was brought out onto the market, sold as a kratom product, even after we asked them not to, even after they agreed not to do it. And then just seeing all these massive doses with these fucking, opiate drug brand name shit, 120 milligram tablets. It's like, of course, none of that's a recipe for a good thing to happen coming out. Come on.
They did that. They knew. They knew. And I cannot stress that enough. They knew what the fuck they were doing.
Oh, and yeah.
They have
trying to get that money and grab it while they can.
They have a whole population of active addicts right now. Whole population. There's a minority of it helping people with their chronic pain. But I can tell you this much. I've had numerous comments from the chronic pain community telling me that they were never addicted to their opioids before. But now the 7-OH has the claws in them. They can't escape it. These are like 60, 65-year-old women. And a couple men in there, but I didn't ask their age. But these other comments, the people, told me their life story about their, why they're in chronic pain, how, they were never addicted to their opioids, how they're being undertreated right now. So they saw, oh, this is being marketed for chronic pain. Let me try it.
My concern, I have another concern as far as like the chronic pain patients that it's helping. It's like, are they buying from a vendor that's consistent? Are they buying from a vendor that actually does residual solvent testing? Like, and if they are, it's like, if they aren't, and they're, what are they putting in their body? You know what I'm saying? Chronic pain patients already have enough issues as it is. We don't want to find out 10 years down the line they got their fucking stomach or esophagus. I don't know, just some random thing to happen from the chemicals they've been consuming. You know what I mean? I do think about that too.
Pull shock, acetone, hexane, ethanol. Like, is it like it might be saving you from your chronic pain, but is it literally eating a hole in your stomach? Are you gonna fucking are you gonna start shitting out of your stomach now?
Yeah.
Instead of your butthole?
I haven't seen anything suggesting that 7-OH had to do with the decrease in the overdose.
Boy, y'all.
I just don't.
Like Mac Haddo said, that's stolen valor right there.
Yeah.
Even Dr. McCurdy agrees. That's stolen valor. Y'all need to stop going around perpetuating that overdoses are down from that.
Blowing out your liver, blowing out your butthole. I like to.
Yeah, blowing your fucking liver out of your damn armpit or something. You know? I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing the blame game. I really am. You know, y'all. Like I say before, all the time, where the fuck were y'all? We've been over here advocating our asses off to save whole leaf kratom, when all the while it's been 7-OH that's been a problem in these communities. You know,
Yeah.
too little, too late. Now it's on the FDA's radar. Now we got to wait for the DEA's public comment period to open up. You know, I have a feeling, my conspiracy theory brain thinks that the FDA and them has already done their 8-factor analysis. That's why they could get up there and confidently say what they said. That's what I feel like, but I can't confirm it.
Oh, damn, Brandon. That's, you know, and that's on a smoke shop. Like, smoke shop, first of all, it should be fucking Carden. Let's be honest.
Damn.
But that is, I mean, not only are they handing it out as free samples to everybody that walks in the fucking door asking about kratom, but then you got this. He's 19 years old. Free sample.
Y'all would shit your pants on how many free samples I got at the CHAMPS trade shows. You would shit your fucking pants. And not one thought in me, this time I can say I'm a recovered addict, not one thought inside of me was like, let me go take this to the bathroom and go try it to see if I get the warm fuzzies like the Perk 30s used to give me, or the Oxy 30s.
Yeah.
You know, not one thought in me was like, let me go do what they said, you know, because the way that they sell you these products at the shows, at the CHAMPS, you're like, what? This is like a drug dealer that's fucking trying to hype their own product up. Anyway, but not one thought in me was like, let me take it to my hotel tonight to go see if I go melt in my damn bed like they said. If I'm going to be blasted off to the moon like they said. Because y'all got to remember, I was addicted to the Oxys for 11 years straight. I went through the whole gambit of the different pain pills, but my favorite was the Oxys. So Oxys were my thing.
Yeah, Narcan does help with 7-OH, and that is.
Narcan will knock the 7-OH off the opioid receptor, but it won't do that for kratom.
Yeah.
Go figure.
But anyway, I thought it was good that we were able to show this. I guess I'll put the link to the video in the description when we're done, so y'all can, anybody who wants to check it out or whatever can. But
yeah, I'm not for prohibition either. I don't agree with the Schedule 1. You know, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with turning people into criminals.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, something has to be done, though. Something.
Yeah, I agree, Brandon. If they didn't market as opiates.
That's how they were able to get away with marketing it as kratom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how they were able to fly under the legal grade loophole that is out there.
But I mean, it's way too far gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, something had to be done. Something had to be done. Something has to be done. Like, nobody wants to do anything. But so, I mean, I don't know.
They made billions off of these people and not one lick of research.
Exactly.
Other than the Beagle study. What they were doing was going off of the old, naturally occurring 7-OH studies.
Yeah.
That's what people like to throw in our face. And you cannot show me a study before 2023. Because those were all studied with the natural 7-OH.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to talk about one person ruins it for the entire bunch, I was that one person that ruined it for chronic pain patients today. I became an addict from my overprescribed pain medications, benzos, and muscle relaxers. I've always accepted accountability on my part, though. You know?
Yeah.
But I was way overprescribed.
I love them all too much.
But yeah, we just thought we'd come on here and show you all that video. I didn't watch it. I just, I was sent that link, and then I sent it to Jen. I was like, you know what, we should do a live stream. So, and like I say, we are not vendor sponsored. We are not promoting MIT 45. We are not. No, don't fucking get none of that shit twisted. We don't make money on what we do at all.
But I mean, like I said, I respect anybody that will man up and admit to doing something, even though everybody's pissed off. I just think it's good because everybody was pointing fingers, and I mean, that don't make him the best person in the world either. I'm just saying, at least, I don't know the guy. I don't know none about him. I'm just saying, but I think it was good to at least, share it so everybody can see it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Teresa.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm like having one of them days where I can't stop yawning.
You need to go take some kratom.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, we can call it. So,
Yeah.
So you said you're gonna include the link in the description or something?
Yeah,
Because-
on YouTube I will.
Yeah, because in his link, he has all the links that he's referring what he's talking about.
So like if you go to the link in the YouTube description, or I guess I'll post it up on on my Facebook thing too.
Okay.
I'm so leery about what I post on Facebook because of all the asshole people that are childish and report me. But whatever, YOLO. And then on YouTube, I'll put it in the description, and then you can just click on all the links that he's referring to.
Yep. So till next time, friends. I miss my Facebook community. I really do. I miss you guys.
It ain't the same.
I'm still active on my other social medias,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're all over the place. It's just,
oh yeah.
Fucking Facebook. No comment. Yeah, I'm glad you got to come, Justin. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, bye everybody.